Good evening, I'm Tyler Berg.
And I'm Chris Verheyen. Here's what's coming up next on Panthervision.
Love is in the books. We'll have team coverage and recap the historic event. Burgers may not be the healthiest choice, but they can help make one girl's wish come true.
White, and he is gone.
The Badgers are trying to fight their way to another Rose Bowl.
Touchdown.
But how's UWM's football team doing? Didn't you know UWM had a football team? We'll show you. And in Panthervision's investigative report, we'll show you what union hotspots aren't meeting public standards. All of that and more coming up next on Panthervision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UWM Panthervision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. Now, the news.
Good evening. It was a historic election with record voter turnout.
As you know by now, President Obama carried Wisconsin on his way to earning a second term by defeating Mitt Romney. But that's just part of the story. Tonight, in our final edition of Your Vote 2012, we'll break down the numbers, examining voter turnout on campus, and who UWM dorm residents voted for. We'll also bring you a reaction to the historic election of Wisconsin's first female senator, who was also the first openly gay senator in U.S. history. We'll begin with a look at voter on campus.
It appears the big push to get college students to the polls worked.
We'll start with a report from Tyler.
Thank you. Have a great day.
It's Super Tuesday, and for most Americans, that means getting involved.
I feel like this election is so incredibly important, probably one of the most important elections of my life, so I wanted to make sure that everyone had the right to vote.
Delaney is working the voting polls at Sandberg Hall, and she says there's plenty of perks.
And the excitement, especially the new people that are registering and this is their first time voting, they get like all excited and that energizes everyone.
I'm happy I did it.
Like first-time voter Zachary Lade.
I was expecting a longer line, to be honest. I don't know, it just felt like relieving. Once to finally vote, it just felt really relieving, like, express my, my right to vote. People die in other countries for that right.
Here at UWM's Cambridge Commons, the polls are getting some help from an unusual source.
Fraternity Sigma Chi is lending a hand.
Right now we're just basically helping out the polling for the presidency, and we're just, trying to help out with the community.
Drew Kendall is the chief inspector for Ward 135. He says Sigma Chi has been working the polls for a year now.
We really do feel like getting more public involved in Greek life in general, getting awareness out there about Greek life on campus is one of our main concerns.
In Milwaukee.
Perfect. And there is your sticker. Have a great day. Thanks.
I'm Tyler Berg for Panthervision.
Turnout in the city of Milwaukee was a record 87%, but that pales in comparison to one of the wards in Sandberg Residence Hall. Turnout in Ward 130, was 132%. No, people didn't vote more than once. The percentage exceeded 100% because of new registrations. Nationwide, about 23 million people between the ages of 18 and 29 voted. That means about half of all young people eligible to vote went to the polls this election. The research was conducted by Tufts University, and it shows President Obama won the young vote by a margin of 60 to 37%.
People who voted on UWM and Marquette campuses followed the national trend for young voters. Of those living in UWM dorms, 73% voted for President Obama, with 24% going to Mitt Romney. The race was a bit closer at Marquette. 57% of dorm votes went to President Obama, while 41% went to Romney. Results for the U.S. Senate race were similar. Tammy Baldwin received 69% of the UWM vote, with former Governor Tommy Thompson receiving 28%. Baldwin tallied 53% of Marquette vote, with Thompson getting 43% of the vote.
Baldwin won the Senate seat and made history in the process. Panthervision's Lila Girl has the story.
There is a new hype going around campus.
Want to recognize that I'm making history. In reality, she is.
It's huge for women. It's huge for LGBT people.
I was very relieved that she was elected.
Newly elected Senator for Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, is making history.
That I will have the honor to be Wisconsin's first woman U.S. Senator.
but what she really wants to do is make a change. LGBT ally Andy Dirks is anticipating what Baldwin will work on first.
It's going to be an interesting next couple of years for same-sex marriage. Hopefully other issues come to the forefront as well.
Bailey Murph of the Women's Resource Center can relate to Baldwin's concern for women's rights.
You know, she has in mind women's best interests, which is what our office does.
Bailey says that women will look up to Baldwin while in office, and also thinks about the historical moment.
I hope my kids, read her in their history books because she's going to be a really important figure.
Graduate student Colleen Abel knows that this historic moment would not have happened 10 years ago.
I think it's a sign that people's attitudes are finally catching up with the reality, which is that, women should hold political office and should be in powerful positions.
And the women are especially excited about it.
That'll be awesome.
In Milwaukee, I'm Lila Girl for Panthervision.
Baldwin's opponent, former Governor Tommy Thompson, says he will remain involved in Wisconsin politics but will not run for office again.
Jorge Quintero is the latest recipient of the Regents Equality Award. The award is granted to non-resident students based on their financial and scholastic merit. Quintero has been granted this award after a dispute with UWM over Wisconsin's lack of recognition towards same-sex marriages. With help from Equality Wisconsin, an LGBT advocacy group, Quintero will enroll this January in the Peck School of the Arts.
A former UW Oshkosh chancellor has died. John Kerrigan was chancellor for 10 years. His accomplishments include improving ties with Oshkosh businesses and fundraising for student scholarships. He also created international partnerships with universities across the globe. He was 76 years old.
The search for a new UW-Madison chancellor is underway. A special UW Regents Committee will begin reviewing candidates after the December 21st application deadline. The university is looking to replace Chancellor Biddy Martin, who left last year to become president of Amherst College.
UWM has no shortage of food on campus, but is it food you can feel comfortable eating? In a Panthervision investigation, Steve Schuster takes a behind-the-scenes look at campus dining.
Take a look around the Union, and you don't have to travel far to see a wide range of food choices to satisfy anyone's craving. But how clean are the restaurants? A Panthervision investigation revealed 3 out of 5 of the randomly selected Union restaurants have been written up as recently as last month for health code violations, including city subs and the Kenwood Inn. And some are even repeat offenders. Among the repeat violators, a UWM mainstay since Richard Nixon was in the White House, the Guest House, which was written up for a violation in 2011 and again last month for 6 different violations. Meet Michael Burns. He runs restaurant operations at the Guest House. When asked about the violations, Burns said they weren't a big deal.
I mean, it's just the majority of them are real small issues.
But when Panthervision brought Milwaukee Health Department officials on campus, they had a different story. Officials could not comment specifically about an individual restaurant, but they could discuss the seriousness of a particular violation.
Well, any potentially hazardous food that is being held has to be maintained at 135 degrees.
Okay.
So that's the standard.
So how serious of a violation is that?
Well, any temperature violation is considered a critical violation. In other words, it's something that has to be addressed right away.
Meanwhile, Burns explains why the chicken was not at the correct temperature.
You try to keep things as level as possible, but there's times where temperatures, when you're constantly opening and closing, there would be some fluctuation.
In Milwaukee, I'm Steve Schuster for Panthervision.
Orientation for all student employees in UWM restaurant operations includes safe food handling, sanitation, and hygiene.
They've had one of the most successful seasons of any UWM team, but you may not have heard of them. We'll explain next.
And later in our newscast, we'll tell you how burgers can make a wish come true. All that and more when Panthervision continues.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, judged Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
They're undefeated in club play, but they don't get much attention.
Panthervision's Justin Wheeler introduces us to the least known team on campus.
UW Milwaukee may not play football quite like the Badgers or Wisconsin Whitewater. They don't have a stadium or even a practice field. UWM football says they've got something better than all that. They have each other.
Us Panthers, we like to hit, so I can't speak for other teams because I don't really get hit, but us Panthers, we be smacking people pretty hard.
The Panthers practice on the hardwood of the basketball court at the Klatsche Center. The football club plays other college clubs from around the Midwest, and they're pretty good at it. Right now, they're undefeated in league play and ranked 10th in the nation. A lot of that success comes because the club added a head coach this season. Dave Mogensen's been around football all of his life. He says he's seen it all, and he likes what he sees at UWM.
As far as athletes, we have a pretty good set of athletes, which is why I think we've had such great success against other club teams. I don't think they have such the athletes that we do. When you think football club, you think maybe like, you know, I played intramurals, I should be able to play football club, or it's like a beer league or something. It's pretty legit. We're practicing a couple days a week.
Wins and losses aren't the top priority for a club largely ignored around campus. When these men step out on the field, they're playing for personal pride and for the camaraderie they've formed with teammates all season.
And we are very close. I mean, we all hang out on the weekends. I mean, not to be cliche, but we really do. We hang out and just have a good time. So we are brotherhood, I think, and definitely a fraternity.
The Panthers are looking for a permanent place to play home games. Shoreland High School is close, but would cost the team thousands of dollars to rent out every season. For now, these men just enjoy the game anywhere they can play it.
My personality, I'm kind of quiet, you know, sit back in the back, you know, and just kind of do my thing. And these guys kind of, you know, they made it a point to like, hey, who are you? What are you about? You know, I know you're on the team, but, you know, who are you off the field? And they really, you know, grabbed me and made me a part of the group off the field as well. So we hang out and we do stuff and go out sometimes and kick it.
Spend some time watching these guys, and you'll come to find out UWM really doesn't have a football club. Because when these guys take the field or the court, they're UWM's football team. In Milwaukee, I'm Justin Wheeler for Panthervision.
The team finished their season this weekend with the game against UW Parkside. This is their first winning season since 2005.
Beginning next fall, incoming UWM freshmen will face higher standards for English and math. The UWM General Education Task Force came to a consensus after 4 years of consideration. In addition to English 102, students will have to take a higher level writing or oral communications course. UWM will also institute a math requirement that is higher than the current 105 math course. Between cramming for tests and making holiday plans, scheduling classes for next semester is one of the last things on student minds. But in tonight's MATC report, Jamie Sod explains how to beat the registration chaos.
For many college students, autumn is the time of cramming for midterms or planning for the holidays. But experienced students know the importance of planning ahead to the spring semester. Early registration and seeing your class advisor ensures students get the classes they need when they need them.
Well, the advisor, what it does is help the students to get the right courses and help them with the program plans. You can go to your program plan at the info online. In the program plan, specifically it says where the advisors are. Otherwise, you can contact any student services, and then they will provide also there. I think that the planning process is important, and then you minimize the stress as a student. Sometimes you take classes that you don't need for the program.
Your class advisors can let you know what sequence you need to take your courses in. They can let you know how much longer you have to go till graduation, and they can help get you registered in time. Early registration is extremely important because whenever I teach a 7 a.m. class, I have a bunch of bleary-eyed students staring at me, said that they waited too long to register, and that's why they're there.
MATC students can plan their schedules in depth at the Advising Resource Center, which is located in the S building.
My recommendation is that you can go and visit your advisors ASAP.
By staying focused on their goals and contacting their advisors, well-prepared students can avoid confusion with registration or even possibly taking classes they might not need. This can give them a leg up in the spring semester. For the MATC Report, I'm Jamie Saad.
UWM's spring enrollment, by the way, begins November 19th. Meeting with advisors early helps to beat deadlines and to stay on top of graduation requirements.
UWM is once again recognized for its green initiatives. For the third consecutive year, the university is getting a Green College rating from the Princeton Review. The review says that UWM is a leading provider of the academic, research, and real-world experiences students need to compete for in-demand green jobs. Tom Momberg is here now with the weather.
Hi boys, how are you?
Pretty good. What's the weather looking like this week?
Well, I guess I hope you're prepared for Wisconsin winter, that's for sure. Well, last night we saw freezing temperatures after a really warm weekend. Yesterday was our first freezing day, but as we go into the week, we're looking at some. We have to close the windows, turn up the heat, guys. It's going to be a cold one. We're going to have freezing lows. Our highs are going to be just in the mid-30s, so we're really going to start seeing. We're really going to. Excuse me. We're really going to start seeing it cooling down. Current conditions, it's partly cloudy. Temperature 31 degrees. We're looking at being pretty cold today. As we move out, the dew point is 47 degrees. Moving on to today, we'll have a chance of scattered flurries, high of 34 degrees, low tonight of 24 degrees, and participation probably about 30% chance. Last night we were looking at Rhinelander over here, 18 degrees, 22 degrees in Green Bay, and 24 degrees in Milwaukee. West we get a little lower, Eau Claire, 19 degrees, and La Crosse, 22. Going into the highs for today, we are looking at all of them almost just below freezing. Milwaukee down here in 34 degrees, Madison 36, and Green Bay 31 degrees. Tonight we'll have clear skies, but it will be cold, so bundle up, 13 miles per hour wind. Tomorrow it'll be sunny, 40 degrees. We're looking at a little bit of hope here with some good weather. Wind 8 miles per hour and 29 degrees for the low tomorrow night. Wednesday, high of 42, wind 9 miles per hour and low of 30 degrees. At the week ahead, we're looking at mid 40s. We will hopefully have one last good week before it will really start to get snow and ice and everything else we don't want.
So no more 60-degree weekends? No more?
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay. All right, thanks, Tom.
Unemployment in Milwaukee has risen, but not for everybody. In tonight's MATC report, Monty Discrow takes a look at recent attention being paid to Wisconsin employment skills gap.
I'm here outside Peerless Brothers Incorporated, a plastics injection molding company that's a prime example of the type of business that's been dealing with Wisconsin's employment skills gap. That is the gap between who these guys are looking to hire and the skill level of those available to come take the open positions. Peerless Brothers president Ted Muccio spoke this week at a forum addressing the issue.
It has to go away, and that's part of the problem, I think.
The forum was the centerpiece of the latest WUWM 89.7 Project Milwaukee series, Help Wanted. Project Milwaukee executive producer Annalise Hensel spoke to us about the program.
What we've discovered with this series, it's an incredibly complicated problem, and we kept hearing more and more of the conversation about the skills gap in the community.
The skills gap has received an increasing amount of press this year, and panelist Tim Sullivan has helped in that cause.
How we can bridge that skills gap.
After being appointed as a special consultant for business and workforce development by Governor Walker in February, Sullivan issued a report proposing a number of ideas to close the gap.
He's been appearing, talking about this topic at many panels recently.
The amount of attention the skills gap issue is getting is certainly warranted, and it's apparent that community leaders from all areas will continue to work together to identify the problems and find the solutions. For Panthervision, this is Monty Driscoll reporting.
Next, the women's soccer team is in the NCAA tournament.
And we'll introduce you to the new women's basketball coach. That and more when we return.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, Judge Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
The women's basketball team takes to the court for their season opener.
And it's NCAA tournament time. Steve Garrison joins us now with sports. Steve?
Thanks, guys. The women's soccer season is over. The Ladies Panthers lost to Notre Dame in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Panthers got on the board first with a penalty kick.
The kick is going to be Helen Steinhauser. And the kick going into the left side of the net, and that puts the Panthers up 1-0.
But the Irish matched Helen Steinhauser's goal just before halftime, scoring on a header off of a corner kick. Notre Dame took the lead for good in the 53rd minute and added an insurance goal with 40 seconds left in the game. The 3-1 loss ends the Panther season with a record 8-9-1, and it ends the career of standout Helen Steinhauser, who was named Horizon League Player of the Year. The men's basketball team season opened with a bang. The team beat the University of Mary 76-46. Junior Kyle Kelm scored 15 points, and junior Jordan Aaron added 12 points. The Panthers only committed 8 turnovers and made 13 three-pointers. The team traveled to South Carolina for their second game of the season, and despite Aaron's 28 points, the team lost 75-82. The UWM men's basketball team have won their first season opener against Chicago State. Junior Angela Rodriguez scored 18 points in the Panthers' 82-58 victory. Senior Sammy Tucker's 11 points and 6 rebounds helped the Panthers claw their way to victory. The team then traveled to UW-Wisconsin, but were badgered to their first loss of the season. Sophomore Ashley Green shot a career-high 19 points, and freshman Aviana Yun tallied 7 points and 6 rebounds for the Panthers. The women's team has taken the floor this season with a new voice on the sidelines. As Panthervision's Steve Schuster reports, the former Badger is making herself comfortable as a Panther.
Changing from a Badger to a Panther is not always an easy adjustment. After 16 seasons, the Lady Panthers now have a new coach, Kyle Recklitz. Recklitz, who was a Badgers coach, now joins the Panthers. For Recklitz, it's been a smooth transition.
It's been a great adjustment. You know, Milwaukee is a very family-oriented community, and you know, moving my family here from Madison and having my husband's family in the area has really made the adjustment very smoothly. Bringing my staff here as well, and having a staff that really works well together has really bonded us and put us in a great place to work on a championship.
But the transition has not been without challenges.
You know, being that we are new and we're putting a whole new offensive and defensive system in, we just really want to make sure that our girls are on the same page working together all the time.
Recklitz comes to Milwaukee not only as a Badgers coach and player, but also with 2 NCAA tournament appearances under her belt. With that experience, she says, comes wisdom from her own coach.
Who are very emotional beings. A lot of times you have to focus on the mental side. So I think the one thing that she taught me is to always focus on the entire person and not just them as basketball players.
In Milwaukee, I'm Steve Schuster for Panthervision.
UWM isn't the first stop Recklitz has made in the Horizon League. She was an assistant at Cleveland State from 2003 to 2007. Junior Becky Yokosh and freshman Nick Halverson are not just good at swimming. They're the Horizon League Swimmers of the Week. Yokosh broke the Klotsky Natatorium records in the 200-meter backstroke by more than 6 seconds. She also lowered the record for the 200 freestyle relay. Halverson took first place in both the 500 and 1,000 free against UIC. That's it for sports. Back to you, Tyler and Chris.
Meat and potatoes are buying a flight to Fiji.
Panthervision's Amy Watanabe tells us how.
No food war here. Just a bite to make a wish come true. Burger by burger on one night every month for 13-year-old Andrea, who battles sickle cell anemia. Her wish is to go here, Fiji. Dave Sobelman's cheeseburgers might just bring her to paradise.
We count every burger we sell, and we give $1 from every burger to Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish Wisconsin is an organization that helps children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Women's is working with wishmakers on campus at UW-Milwaukee to basically help raise funds to help make wishes come true.
Boris Doolin says it's not just Sobelman's that helps make wishes come true. It's everyone.
It's every little spot under the sun. It's your neighbors in their backyard holding some sort of a cookout fundraiser. It's the kids in the local schools that are raising money through our Kids for Wish Kids program. Anybody and everybody can be part of a wish come true.
And for Bianca, it's more than just organizing Andrea's wish. It's the fact that
I think Make-A-Wish has made me and has allowed me to be the person that I truly am.
In Milwaukee, I'm Amy Watanabe for Panthervision.
For more information on how you can make a wish come true, log on to wisconsin.wish.org.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Panthervision.
You can watch us anytime on Time Warner's Wisconsin On Demand channel 411.
You can also see us on Time Warner Channel 14 and AT&T U-verse Channel 99 at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays.